Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, Ramji Ambedkar, popularly known as the Baba Saheb Ambedkar, was an Indian jurist, economist, politician, and social reformer. Inspired the Dalit Buddhist movement, campaigned against the social discrimination against the untouchable. While also supporting the right of women and labor, he was independent India's first law minister and the principal of architect Constitution of India. On April 14, 89, a son was born to the Bhimbai and Ramji Ambedkar. His father Ramji was an army social stationed at the Maho in Madhya Pradesh. He had risen to the highest rank and in India was allowed to hold the time under the British rule. Cultivation of mind should be ultimate, widely known as reversed Baba. Finally, they had to agree to pay double the usual cost of journey, plus they had to drive the cart themselves while the driver walked beside it. He was afraid of being polluted by the boys because they were untouchable. However, the extra money persuaded him that could have his card purified later. Throughout the journey, Bhim thought constantly about what had happened. Yet he could not understand the reason for it, and he and his brother were clean and neatly dressed. Yet they were supposed to pollute and make unclean everything they touched and all that touched him. All that touched them. Bhim never forget this incident. As he grew up and senseless insults made him realize that what Hindu society called untouchability, what stupid, what cruel, and what unreasonable. Why people think such kind of monotony, like untouchability and this social injustice? What is the reason behind this? And yes, there is no reason. This is unreasonable. And this narrow minded thought is only generated in Hindu society. His sister had to cut his hair at home because the village barber were afraid being polluted by an untouchable. If he asked her why they were untouchable, she would only answer that it is the way that it has been. Do you know what is the reason of untouchability? Why people is said to be as untouchable? Why this discrimination occurs in our society? And who is the social elite behind this? Who is feeding all kind of such nonsense to the one's brain? Yes, this can be eradicated after some time, but let me tell you, we should not feed such kind of things. And now our generations, everything had really changed, and this man, the Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar, is a only social reformer who fight and fight in his entire life. She could only answer that the way is only that way it had been when a girl is suffered from the untouchability. At this time in his young life, with his mother dead and the father working away from the village where the Bhim went to the school, he had some good fortune. His teacher, thou from a high caste, liked him a lot. And what is this biased? What is favorite and what is not favorite? Who will be the culprit for this? Once a student is said to be as you are my favorite, and once a student is said to be as you are not my favorite and you are below than the average. Who is the evil for this, and who gonna answer for this? Yet I don't think so. Nobody is going to answer all these things. Okay. So Baba Bhimrao Sahib Ambedkar invited by his teacher. Okay. And that would have so horrified where the most Hindu castes were present on that time. The teacher also changed Bhim's last name to Ambedkar, his own name, when his father decided to remarry. And things had been changed, and his fight for the social Dalit family really brings a new hope to the Dalit people. This is not the enough story we would discuss next. Bye bye.